Hello everybody and welcome back to my Discord.py bot tutorial. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. And today we're going to be covering select menus, or like these drop down menus inside of Discord. If you don't know what they are, I'll quickly show you what they are. They're this really cool new feature and I'll show that really quick. Don't worry about pick your favorite color and then it says this, but pretty much it says a little drop down menu and then you can select different options, and as soon as you select out of the options is when it updates. And then obviously I don't have it running right now, the bot's offline, but my idea is that you probably use this for either role select, like if you want a little drop down menu for all the roles that people want, so you can have this long menu of all these different roles and they can select however many they want, or if you want to put a limit on how many roles you can get, stuff like that. And then as soon as they exit out, they'll get the roles. Or you could use it for whatever you want, literally whatever you want. If you want to make this for heads and tails also, or a coin flip command where you have heads or tails also, completely fine too. You do dot coin flip, it sends you that or slash coin flip, and it sends you that drop down. You select heads or tails and tells you if you're wrong or right. Again, you do whatever you want with it. I'm just kind of showing you the basics of how to use it. So yeah, with that being said, that's the basics of what a drop down menu is, or a select menu, and let's jump right into the code. Okay, so jumping right into the code, you probably noticed that I've completely taken all the code, or I actually created a new file, but I've taken all the unnecessary codes and commands that we've made in the past episodes, just because I felt like the file was very cluttered and kind of me personally going through it, you don't really want like a long file, so it was difficult for me to find certain things, and then kind of the ordering of how all my classes were laid out is starting to get a little bit confusing. So I've taken out I've just created a new file called episode 11 because it's episode 11, and I took out all the not important stuff, but I left the onReady. I left this class for our client that if you didn't watch last episode, we completely created a new class for client, and that's what we're actually going to be storing our client in, is now in this new class. So any commands that we want to create are going to be run in this section because that's where we define our client. And then obviously we have our onReady function inside of the client class. So it's only going to run when that client is done being, like, when it's ready, when it's initialized. So yeah, this is going to be probably a longer video just because there's a lot of steps creating the select menu. You have to create two different classes because the select menu class itself isn't a class of type. If you remember in the last episode, we created a class and then inside of the parentheses we put discord.ui.view. The select menu isn't part of the view, so we actually have to create one for the select menu, and then we have to create one for a view, which allows us to add the select menu to the view, if that makes sense. And it'll make more sense when I actually write it out. So the first thing that we need to do is create our drop down class, or our select menu class. So we're going to create class, and we'll just call it select, or call it select menu. And then, like I said, we're going to, instead of putting discord.ui.view, the select menu needs its own view called discord.ui.select. And then inside of all of our classes, we're going to put def underscore init underscore, and we're going to pass in self. And then we're also going to have to define that super init. So go ahead and drop down a few lines and put our super dot underscore init, and we'll put some stuff inside of here in a second. But then in this space in the middle, we actually want to put the options, or the different selections that we can have for a select menu. So we're going to create a list called options, and inside of here we're going to put select menu options. Or is this menu option or options? Let me see. Sorry, I was completely off. It was discord.select options. Sorry, I don't deal with select menus that often. And so for all of our options that we want, we're going to create a object of type discord.select option. So we'll do comma, and so if we want 4 options, we're going to create 4 of those. And then inside of here, you can see what we can pass. I think I have the documentation up. Where was it? Sorry, I was just getting emojis for it, and I'll show you that in a second. But I think I had the documentation for it up. Let me find it. All right, so here it is. It's the class of discord.select options, like we were saying, and it passes in label, the value, the description, and if you want an emoji as well, and I'll show you how to do that. So going back to VS Code, we can pass in a label, and this will be what the title of it is. So for example, if you want that role request, which is what we'll actually make this select menu for, a role request, kind of a tongue twister. So for the first label, we'll just do this will be like a notifications role request. So I'll have like YouTube notifications, just like in my Discord server. I have the same thing, but it's not through a select menu. It's just through buttons. But I'll have 3 different. So let me get rid of one. I'll have 3 different ones. I'll have one for YouTube notifications, Twitter notifications, and Twitch notifications. And these want to have functionality. I'm just putting these as placeholder names. So YouTube, Twitch, sorry, it needs to be label. Label is equal to Twitch. Label is equal to Twitter. And then we can also have a description, and this is just gonna make a little tagline right under the option. So it'll be comma description is equal to get notified every time I upload to YouTube. Again, these aren't gonna have functions. I'm just putting kind of words down of what they would do. Description, if I can type. Get notified when I go live on Twitch. Probably better if I formatted this better so it's not all in one line, but whatever. Twitter, I'm gonna go description is equal to get notified when I post on Twitter. And yeah, let me do that real quick so it's actually formatted better. So we have the first one that lasts to here, and then we're gonna drop this to the next line, and then drop this one to the next line, and there we go. Whoops. Now we can see them all a little better. Oh my, okay, stop, there we go, okay. And then the last thing that I want to do is add an emoji to it. Again, you don't have to, but it just makes it look nicer. So do comma emoji is equal to, and I'm going to go to that website we had open and just get an emoji. So for YouTube, we're going to get the play emoji, which looks like this. Again, you can just search up any copy and paste emojis if you're on a computer. Just search that up. What else do I have? Twitch. For Twitch, what did I get for Twitch? Oh yeah, the television, because like Twitch TV, you know. You can put whatever emoji you want as long as you're able to copy it into your IDE. That's what you need. Oh, sorry, this needs to be a string. I was like, why is it giving me an error? Okay, emoji is equal to string. There we go. And then I just did like a yellow bird for Twitter because there's no blue bird, but whatever. Comma emoji is equal to string of this. Okay, so what have we done?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Sorry about that. Honestly, don't even know what that is, and it's yelling at me. Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, so what we've created is we've created a class of SelectMenu, and it's of type discord.ui.select. And inside of the init, and I explained this a lot in the last episode, the init function just allows us to, it's a function that's always called when you create a new instance of a class. It's always called no matter what. So we're creating this options anytime the SelectMenu is called. We're creating a list of options, and they're of type discord.select option, and we have 3 of them. So one's labeled YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and the description of each of them and the emoji of each of them. So these are our 3 options. But now we actually have to put those options onto the select menu. So let's do that. So going over to the documentation, if we actually go down here to select, you'll see this is now what we need to do. And we actually have to create, I know they're all like very similarly named. Like if you see on the left hand side, we have select, we have select option, we have select menu. They all relate to the same thing, but they're just like different names of it. But anyway, so for the select class is where we're going to actually create that select menu. So we have all the options created inside of the select option using the select option. And now we need to create that select menu using select. So we're going to pass in a placeholder, and what the placeholder is, and you don't have to have one. It's none by default, but when you have that select menu open, or not even when it's open, when it's like literally just sitting, you haven't opened it yet, it's going to have a little placeholder message of where your normal options would be. So inside of this super init, and you can actually see it tells you this is actually the documentation for the select, because it knows, the super init knows what the class is that you need to pass in. So this is the exact documentation I just looked at. So placeholder is what we're going to put in. We're also going to put in a min and a max values. Normally they're equal to 1 and 1, but I'll show you what it happens when you change that. And then the options is going to be a list of select options, which is what we created up here, a list of select options. So inside of this init, we're going to put placeholder is equal to, and you can say whatever you want. I'm just going to put what roles do you want, and then the options is equal to options, because that is a list of select options, just like it says in the documentation. And then min and max values I'll show in 1 second. I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, so that is our select menu class. So our entire select menu has now been created, but we need to actually add it to the view, because How to explain this? Okay, so when you okay, well, let's quickly just create our command so I can explain this a little better. So let's create an actual command that'll call this. So at client.tree.command. And if you don't know about slash commands, go and check out episode 9, I think it is, for slash commands. Name is equal to select. And then we're going to go, we don't have to put a description, just put that. Async def select. We're going to pass in interaction like always. And then we're going to say await interaction dot response dot send underscore message. Content is equal to select your roles. So this will be the actual like regular message, and then I'll have the drop down menu attached to it. So if we just do right now, view is equal to select menu. Yes, select menu is a class, but select menu is not a class of type discord.ui.view. And you'll see that if I actually try to run this right now, it'll give me an error because this isn't a discord.ui.view. So we can't try to make it a view by doing this. And I'll go ahead and show that real quick. So you see when I try to run it, you see this application did not respond, and we get command select raising an exception, attribute error, select menu has no attribute to components, because when you call a slash command and you're trying to make it a select menu, it needs to be of type view in order to like add it to the view, if that makes sense. So we need to create another class called, we just call it select or whatever we want, and we're going to add the select menu to the view of that class and then call that class as the view, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of a weird thing that you have to do, but it's just how it's kind of set up. I wish there was a way around it, but yeah, just go ahead and do this. So we're going to create another class, and we're just going to create it right here, and we're going to go class, we'll just call it select discord.ui.view. We're going to do the same thing just like we did with all other classes, init self, and then our super dot underscore init, our dunder init, and then in here, sorry, I have to put parentheses. Then we're just going to do self dot add underscore view, and we're going to add the view of select menu. And there we go. That should be everything, because add view is actually a function of discord.ui.view, so we're able to use that. And I think that's everything. And I feel like this should be turning yellow. I don't know why it's not. Did I mess something up? I might have messed something up. Oh, and we need to change to say select instead of just select menu. That needs to be select. Sorry, it is not add view, it's add item. I was like, why is it not turning yellow? Okay, it's add item, not add view. That makes sense. Now this should be working, because we're actually calling this view select on a class that's of type view, not of type select. Hopefully this is working now. Slash select. Nice, it's not working. Let's see what we did wrong. Oh, I just didn't pass in parentheses. Yep. Anytime you call a class, you have to pass in parentheses. Even if the class doesn't take anything, you still need to pass in parentheses for parameters. Hopefully that's the only error we made. Let's see. Yeah, and there we go. So we have that message that says select your roles that we said, and that is the irregular message on top. And then we have this select menu down below, which has our placeholder that says what roles do you want. And so this is our select menu. And if you actually click into it, we have our 3 different options. We have YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, which are all those different Discord.select options. And if you click on one, as you can see, it'll automatically like try to run through it. And right now we don't have any callback, so it won't do anything. But you see, if I click one, you can actually select the different ones. But what if you want to select more than one? So that's what I was talking about with the min and max values. So let's go ahead and do that. So inside of here, inside of the super init of our sites menu, we can add a min underscore values. So this is how many of those select options you can select. So I'm going to put min is equal to 1. It's always 1 by default. And then max values, I'm going to put to 3, because I want them to be able to select all 3 roles if they want all 3 roles. So now you can see it'll actually allow me to select all 3 of the roles before like completing the select menu. So I can select YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And then when I click out of it, that's when it finally runs the callback. But like I said, this doesn't do anything. So let's go ahead and add some functionality to it. So what we're going to do is come inside of our sites menu and create a callback function like we've been talking about. So we're going to come in here and we're going to go def callback. And again, any function inside of a class, we need to pass in self, so we know what so we know what object it's on inside of the class. So self, and we're also going to pass in the interaction. And then we're going to say await interaction dot response dot send underscore message. And I don't have, did I spell interaction wrong? Interaction. Oh, sorry, I can't say await. Wait, sorry, this would be async. Async def. There we go. Okay. And I don't have any of these roles actually created, so I'm not gonna make this role request actually work. I'm just gonna respond back with what messages what options they chose. But if you want, obviously, you could make him actually add the roles. It's very easy. Just interaction.guild .get role, so you can get the role and then get the member of interaction.user and then do interaction.user.add underscore role and then add that role. But I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, if you need help on that, just ask in the Discord server. And so for the content, I'm going to send back the values that they sent. And if I find the documentation for that, I was just looking at it right here. So in discord.ui.select, you have this values, which returns a list of values that have been selected by the user. So I can go content, successfully given you, and then we're going to pass in self, because that's the object that we're on, dot values. And again, this is going to return a list. So if you I'll go ahead and show you how it looks right now, but it'll be formatted as a list, and you usually don't want a list to be returned back to your user just because of how it looks. If I do dot select your roles, and if I pass in 2 of them and I click out, you see successfully given you, and then it says the 2 roles in a list. So I'm going to quickly format this a little better so it's not in a list. And I should say roles after successfully giving you those roles. So I'm going to use the dot join function inside of Python. If you don't know what this is, it just joins together different items into a single string. So I'm going to create a string, and I'm going to put a comma, and this is going to be our separator. And you're going to do dot join and then pass in the list of self.values. So what this is doing is taking the separator of the comma as a string, and it's joining it using dot join. And then we're passing in self.values in the dot join. And why is that underlined? Is that not right? I swear it's right. Hold on. Okay, I think I fixed it. For some reason, it wasn't allowing me to put this directly inside of this the curly braces. So I just set it equal to an external variable called values and put in values here. But I don't know why that wasn't working. That was kind of weird. Let's try that. So hopefully it's formatted a little better. /select. We're going to select Twitter and YouTube this time. And as you can see, successfully giving you Twitter and YouTube roles. And if you want these bolded, just bold them so it stands out a little more. But yeah, that's the basics of SelectMenu. You can add, I'm sure there's a limit on how many options you can add. But yeah, that is, let's go and just run it one more time just so show you. Roles do you want to get Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube this time. Successfully giving you Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube roles. So yeah, that's how a SelectMenu works. If you have any questions, ask them down below, and I'll be sure to answer you for them. And go ahead and showing you, this is one of the old SelectMenus that we ran on before we restarted the bot. As you can see, it doesn't work anymore because I don't have that persistent view class in here anymore. Again, if you have the persistent view class inside of your bot, just go ahead and add the view of select to that persistent view. Do self.add item or add view, whatever it is, to the persistent view class of select, and it'll be permanent or persistent. Sorry. But yeah, that's SelectMenus. If you have any questions, ask them down below or join my Discord server for help. I'll be able to help you there. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the series. If you have any suggestions on what you guys would like to see next, drop them down below or in my server, and I'll be sure to balls out. So let me know what you guys like to see. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Peace out.